Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Another segment in the series, Life After Exchange. Tonight, we're going to talk about auto auctions and what that looks like. Most of you have never been to an auto auction. I actually had somebody email me when I put this up and asked me what an auto auction was. And there's multiple types of auto auctions, and I'll try to, if I can remember, go through all those for you and show them to you. Mainly on this particular show, I'm going to only deal with the Mecum auto auction. This one right here. There's their logo. Simply because I've been to multiple Mecum auto auctions. I've never been to a Barrett Jackson auto auction. Is one better than the other? I would say, yeah, the Barrett Jackson probably is has more notoriety, uh, more collectible cars, I would say, than the Mecum. But hey, the Mecum's not far behind. So I'll just get right into that. So for those of you tuning in, hey man, I appreciate you. I hope you learned something. I'm gonna try to educate you the best I can. I used to sell cars. I also used to work at an auto parts store. I've also owned multiple classic cars: 68 Mustang, 69 Mustang convertible, 70 Torino hardtop, 70 Mercedes 350 SL convertible roadster. I think that's it as far as classic cars. But when I sold cars, I sold pre-owned luxury cars from like Ferraris all the way down, strict 95% imports. We just really didn't sell American cars. American cars were junk at the time. Only good ones were Cadillacs. So Cadillacs, Tahoes, those type of vehicles are the only Americans that we kept. So while I was, in the car business, I learned all about cars, conditioning, how to check them, what to look for. Yeah, you have to get a real education real quick, especially when you do $25 million worth of business in 1 year off a pre-owned car lot. And if any of you folks get down to Houston and you know where the Ferrari dealership is, well, right on the other side of W. Granger. It's not there anymore, but I think it's either a gas station or a car wash or something. But there used to be two car lots right there. On the corner was Stephen Flynn's lot, and then we were right next to it. It was originally NXS Motor Cars, which has moved further in town on 59, same side. Uh, so we slung cars. Oh my God. Uh, yeah. We were one of the first three dealers on eBay in 1999. And we could not put cars on eBay fast enough. There was not enough time in the day to get these cars ready, put them on eBay, monitor everything, do the sale, and still go out and have fun because you were making so much money. You were going to bank on every car you put on eBay. It didn't matter what it looked like, you were going to bank. So, yeah, I learned a lot about cars, how to buy them, what to look for, all of that. So, I'm going to share as much as that I can with you guys. And that's why I'm doing this series, because some of you are going to go out here and, you're going to have all this money and you're going to go crazy with it. And you're not going to invest properly. You're going to buy liabilities instead of buying assets. Okay. So, this particular program is the Mecum Auto Show program. This one's from December 3rd through the 5th of 2020. That's when COVID was around, folks. Actually, COVID was here in November of 2020 because my friend that grew up across the street from me, she went to Asia for some kind of seminar for her industry and came back. and she had like double pneumonia. They didn't know what the hell she had. She picked it up. She brought it over here in November. Absolutely. I mean, went to the hospital. I mean, it was really bad for her. So that's when COVID really got here. By the time they closed everything down, May 11th, yeah, it's a different story. So here you go. Here's the one from April 8th through the 10th of 2021. I actually worked this show. I was a rigger, and I did take pictures, and I had everything, and my phone died, lost everything. This one, which is even bigger, here you can see the size difference. Okay, so they upped their game. They got a bigger one. This is from April 3rd to the 5th, 2025. And we're going to cover that. And I'm going to go back to the one last year that I attended and show you some stuff from there. Because at that particular auto auction, I personally took a picture of every vehicle that they had at that auction. I do. So, what really is an auto auction? Okay, you have high-end auto auctions like this Mecum auto auction, and I'll show you the cars. And not every car is a collectible, an exotic, super exotic, or anything like that. They have some daily drivers there. Nothing out of the ordinary. You want a nice Beamer, nice Benz. They had them. But you're not going to find, a piece of shit. Okay. It's going to be something that has some type of value to a large audience. It's not going to be real specific. Now, they have other auto auctions that sell repossessed cars, impounded cars, trade-ins from large dealers, especially your big conglomerates. When they take those trade-ins, they may have 200 trade-ins sitting in the back lot, and they'll go run them through an auction. So they get recycled. So there's several different type of auctions, and it depends on what you're looking for. So if you just want to, there's even auctions that sell wrecked cars that are insurance salvages or flood salvages or something like that. That's what my mechanic does. He buys a lot of those vehicles. But you can go to these others like Houston Auto Auction, and you can buy, just an everyday car. I'm sure that you're going to have some specials run through there every now and then, but for the most part, just basic cars. If you're looking for something more collectible, higher end, investment grade, then you want to go hit you one of these auctions. Mecum, Barrett Jackson. Now, these are not recommendations by any stretch of imagination. And then there's some other ones out there that are even smaller. So Sotheby's, I believe, does an auto auction. I think Bonham's does an auto auction. So there's some auction houses out there, but for the most part, Mecum and Barrett Jackson, they're kind of the industry standard. So glad that I attended those, and I have the ability to go through all this stuff and kind of give you a what's what on what's up. So let me get everything over here lined up for you guys. I've got it all ready to go. And I want to get on cinema. All right, this is a folder that I made from the Mecum Auto Auction. Now, you want a gull wing Mercedes, but you don't want to pay $1 million. Well, here's one that's a Restro rod. Okay, it's got a LS in it. It's a gull wing. Here, you want a vet? Right here. This is a Copo Camaro. Okay, you're going to see one in a minute. I'm going to show you a gold one. It was the fifth largest sale at the latest Houston auction. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but here's a '69 Copo Camaro. 8,633 actual miles. Here, I'll put that up for you. This was a featured vehicle. It was up front. And that's the motor. It's a 427. I believe it's a 4-speed. I don't know if it has air conditioning, but bill of sale, protected plate, title from 10/31/69, time slips from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and photo documentation. Excuse me. All right. 427, unrestored condition. 427, 425 horsepower, turbo hydromatic transmission, ZL1 ducted hood. Okay. That's a Copo. If you don't know what a Copo is, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to go look it up. COPO, Copo Camaro. All right. So this is original, numbers matching, unmolested, never restored. Probably has every original part that came straight from General Motors. Nothing's been replaced. Probably not even a spark plug. So everything in here is original factory markings, the whole 9 yards. Now, this car right here that we're looking at, this is an investment grade vehicle. You're going to purchase this vehicle, you're going to park it in your warehouse, air conditioned, climate controlled, and let it make you money. Okay? This car is going to do nothing, absolutely nothing, but appreciate in value. End of story. They don't make them anymore. And there are very few that you're going to find, under, golly, 10,000 miles. And it actually got raced. So you have the time slips from the drag strip. That was a featured vehicle. And of course, you see next to it here is a 429 Mach 1 69. It was a featured vehicle. This little buddy of mine I was kicking it around with. I always like to play around with the kids, especially little boys. And I took a picture of this one because you just, man, where do you see a rear end like that? You just don't. And I believe this is a 409 bubble top. So here's a Bentayga Bentley SUV, but just about every flavor, color, horsepower, handling. There's your Ferrari, here's your Corvette, here's your 50, like a 55, 56 Buick, maybe a Pontiac. Here's your Bentley. That was a pretty little car right here. This orange one. So if you don't want to go drop, $350,000 at Post Oak Bentley to Tillman Fertitta, come get you one at one of these auctions. And you're going to find what you're looking for eventually. Now this one, this has a 454. I don't know if it's a 4-speed or anything, but that's a nice car. And I'm going to show you another one. I actually have a video of it. I actually talked to the owner of the car before it went up for sale. You want a Rolls Royce? That's $400,000 to $500,000 car right there that you probably could have picked up for, I don't know, 3.25 maybe. Because if you're going to go buy, one of these, they're, it's going to be about 50 to 100 grand off a brand new one. But I don't want to get too caught up in all of these. I just wanted to show you. This is actually an electric car. Look at this. 1957 Henny kilowatt sedan, 7 horsepower electric powertrain, 3 speed. Now, if you're going to buy a car for investment, here's an investment. Okay. Where are you going to see another one? Whoops, let me go back. I took about 4 pictures of it. There you go. This is 57, folks. 1957. Of course, a TA. I mean, everything, like I said, every flavor for everybody. For everybody back in the 80s. And, remember the stud of the school having a Corvette pace car. They're pretty common. There's usually one in every auction. Look at this caddy. Look at those fins. There's another one I'm going to show you that's red. But we're going to go through the different types of cars. But let's just say in high school, let me find one that's real easy. Here's a split bumper Z28. You don't want to do that one. These are fairly rare simply because they're split bumpers, which means they don't have the full bumper in the front. And you just don't see many Z28s. But if you have one in high school, okay, and you didn't want to go get one that is low miles, number matching, unrestored, it's worth a gazillion dollars. And if it gets wrecked, it's never going to be worth a gazillion dollars. You want to park it. But you can go buy a street mod, one that has, an updated new, like it probably a LS motor, new suspension, everything updated. Call them resto mods. That's what you want to get for an everyday driver. If it gets totaled, hey, no big deal. That's just one less Camaro off the street. It's not a one of something. It's not a one of 500 or a one of 12. And I'm going to show you all the importance of what that value is when you have a one of vehicle. Doesn't matter what that vehicle is, whether it's a skateboard, a bicycle, motorcycle, a car, an RV. So here's that 2014 300 SL Gullwing, has 796 miles. Okay, I took a picture of this for a reason. Look how much it costs to build this thing. And I'm sure they have the receipts to back all that up. Okay, this is your daily driver, folks. If you want to go sporting around town in your Mercedes and look like you're a gazillionaire, but it's really a replica, there you go. You see, it's got the LS motor slammed in there. I mean, they squeeze that baby in there. There's a Ferrari, older one. Now here, let me go back and show you guys something because most of you don't even know this, and you're gonna run right out and like Mike Barrett, he's gonna go out and buy a Ferrari. He's Ferrari shopping. You see this little badge right here? That's a metal badge. They are not standard with the vehicle. They're $3,500 a pop. That's an add-on. So when you see a vehicle, a Ferrari that does not have these, they didn't order it on there. Get you. So these are the little things you need to know before you buy a car. That's the back of the 300 SL. And here soon we're going to run across one of Shaq's trucks. Look, you want a Jaguar XKE? Look at that baby. That's a 1968 Jaguar E-Type Series Roadster. I remember when I was a kid, there was a black one. Somebody lived in our apartment complex had one. There's the Green Hornet car. For real, for real. But if you want a race car, boom, there you go. Number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So if you wanted a Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car, guess what? You can go buy one, folks. Absolutely. There's another one. Who's this belong to? I can't see that. Yeah, these are real race cars. And of course, the 2015 Flintstones Flintmobile golf cart, built to replicate the Flintstone mobile from television series The Flintstones. And there you go. Another race car, the A Team van from television. There's an old Ferrari, and as you see, it does not have the shoulder badging. When a Lamborghini, they got them. Another Bentley. There's another older Ferrari, badging on the side. And of course, the Munsters. You remember this roadster, right? And it was very highly detailed. 1923 Ford Munsters Coach Replica. I told you it's extremely detailed. The little rearview mirror, little bats. Somebody put a lot of thought into building this thing. And if you want a Richard Petty car, this is what all here's. It's a Green Hornet car. 66 Chrysler Imperial sedan. And that's a blurry. And yeah, the Green Hornet. And that's it right there. And I'm showing you this for the diversity. Here's Shaq's truck. I'm going to get into some of these Sprinter vans. We're going to talk about those. But this one right here, this belonged to Shaquille O'Neal. He likes these big Ford F450s, 550s, 650s. So there's all types of vehicles available for you to buy. Whatever you're looking for, you'll be able to find it eventually. If you're patient, you can pick you up quite a stable of assets that will appreciate in value. If you buy right, buy on time, do your homework and research, and be knowledgeable about what you're doing. If you're looking for just an everyday driver or something that like here, you want this, you want a Jaguar, but you don't want a Jaguar motor. You want a 327 in it or a LS. You're probably going to be able to find one eventually. You just look. Here's a Shelby truck. A lot of vehicles. I'm still okay. Whew, finally. Boom. And this is I believe this one is a 560 SL, but this is a European Mercedes 5 SL. I know it's an SL. It's a Roadster. I used to have one. I think this is a 560 74 450 SL, which means has a 4.5 liter motor. That's what that designation means. But how do I know it's gray market? First of all, no DOT bumper extensions, no dual round headlights. These are European headlights, very, very, very sought after. Okay. They would call this a gray market car because it's not black, it's not white, it's gray market. It's that in between. And I had one. If you go look it up, there's no American imported 350 SL from 1970. You can find a 1971 350 SL, not a 1970. And that's what I had. It was gray market. How collectible is that? A gray market vehicle in the United States. It was a classic. It was the first year of the body style change. I wish I still had it, but yeah, misadventures. This one right here, I think this is 104 years old. 1920 Chevrolet Speedster. 105 years old. Aged well, huh? There's me beside it, and this is the 2025. There's a big monster. Now, I took a bunch of pictures of this one simply because, look at this thing. This thing's a beast. I mean, it just looks badass. And this is 2019 Ford F350 Lariat Black Ops Edition pickup with a 6.7 Power Stroke V8 four-wheel drive automatic. Has 9,700 miles on it. Matte black. And it has the Black Ops conversion by Tuscany Motor Company of Elkhart, Indiana. And that's not an endorsement. And this is number 259 of 500. Okay. So here you got a one of vehicle that's badass that, you'd love to, take anywhere. I really didn't get to, dig all in it and see what was in the bed of the vehicle or climb inside the cabin. But here's the badging. There's the rear. Like I said, this thing's a monster. And there is one of the top 10 cars that did sell. I believe this one sold for $302,000. And it was one of three Superbirds or Dodge Daytonas. This is the Plymouth Superbird. The Dodge Daytona is the, sister brand of it. But if, you could have went in here and bought three of these. So if you collect, super birds, which these are super rare, and there you go. There's a Pantera, another rare vehicle. Let's see if I can. They were over here playing with this right before I took this picture. 74 Pantera. And these have 351 Cleveland motors in it, and they're fast. And this is a I think it's 74 280Z 2+2. I did this for Mark Z. And here's that other Cadillac I was telling you about with that badass rear end. Look at this. Look at this baby here, man. Where'd it go? I thought I had a tail end shot of it. I didn't. But I went and checked this thing out. This one's badass too. And here's a 31 Willys Whippet sedan. Okay, now I want you to really look at this thing. Really take a look at it. Look at the condition. Wooden spokes for much different folks. Okay, really look at this thing. Now, I took a picture of that, so let's go look at it because I did that for a reason. 1931 Willys Whippet sedan, one of 15 examples purported to exist according to the Paul Young Willys registry. Inline 4, 3-speed. So there's only 15 of these. And I don't know what kind of condition the other ones are in. But this is an asset, folks, because they just, where are you going to find another one? That's why it's in the condition it is. They preserved it in the unrestored condition. And here's a Corvette boat, which I thought was unique because I've never seen a Corvette boat, but here you go. And I went over and profiled it. And of course, that's not the Corvette, but here's another oldie, but a goodie. And I'll get back to those Ferraris. This is a 1924 Ford Model T Touring. And they just crank these things out. Boom, 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 boom. Assembly line, mass produced. And here are 3 stars of the show. And this is where I was ribbing Mike Barra. Because these are, I'll get to them in a minute. This is the one I picked out for Mike Barra. It's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm red. This one's pretty slick. Has your Targa top, not quite convertible. So anyway, that's those are all my photographs that I took. Maybe I'll get back to the stage. There we go. Hey, I'm back. All right. Let me get over here to the 2025 Mecum Auto Auction. I'll get your comments here in a little bit. I just want to run through this because I got 6 more tabs to address. Again, this is the show that I attended. I didn't work this show. I went as a guest. I didn't even go as media. I should have went as media, but I didn't. Let me. Whoops. There we go. Give you guys the full screen. And let me get back. Let me do something else. All right. As I said, right here is Ferrari. It was the star of the show. 2023 Ferrari 812 Competition. One of 999 produced with just 88 miles. So this is one of 1,000 with 88 miles. And it went for $1.65 million. There you go, folks. So you can literally buy a brand new Ferrari or any type of vehicle. And if you buy the right one, it will appreciate in value. You will make money on it. But you have to know what you're doing and be wise in your decisions and not act in haste. Here we go with another Ferrari. This is a 2021 Ferrari F8 Tributo. This has 2,390 miles, 710 horsepower. Nothing real special about it, but it did go for $330,000. This is the Corvette split window. I saw this vehicle, and as soon as I saw the split window, I was like, oh, I got to go back and profile that. And I missed it, and I forgot. But obviously, it was one of the high sellers. This is 63 Corvette split window coupe, 327 4-speed. It went for $330,000, folks. Now, I don't know what's all special about it, but it is a split window. And a lot of people that had these split window cut it out and made it a whole window. They didn't like that. Now, here's the Dodge Daytona I was telling you about. This is Dodge's version of the Plymouth Superbird. You see it says Daytona back here on the banding. This vehicle went for $325,500. It is a 444 speed, one of 503 produced. All right. Now, 503 were produced. So actually, the number that you really, 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 really want, how many are still around? Survivors. That's what you're looking for. So this could be, a 1 of 20 car, a 1 of 10, even a 1 of 1. And here's your other Plymouth Superbird. This one went for $319, 444 speed. And here is the yellow Superbird. And I actually watched this one. I recorded this one getting auctioned off. I knew it would be one of the top sellers. So I just caught it and went and profiled it. So if you haven't watched that video, you can go watch it sell. This one is 1 of 308 with 4-speed. They have the broadcast sheet, and it is a 440. Here we have a Boss 429. It's a 70 Mustang. Fastback, 275,000. Another Ferrari, 236. So this one's not that old, so it probably cost around that new, if not a little more. I don't know what all options they had on it, because you can option the hell out of these cars and get really, really, really up there. Here's a Corvette, 2019 ZR1. This is one of 140 produced with 7-speed manual ZT track performance package. And this has 3,000 miles, 233,000. There's another Corvette, ZR1 Coupe. This one is one of 102 produced in Watkins Glen Gray, 209,000. Those are your top 10 sellers. All right, let me get over here. A 1972 Chevrolet Corvette convertible 350 4-speed AC convertible hardtop, sold for $34,100. All right. Of course, it didn't share when I clicked over, just like I thought it wouldn't. All right. This is that Corvette. And I'm just walking around. I'm just checking it out because it's extremely clean. So I start talking to him, and I have no idea why my microphone's not working. But all through this video, I'm talking, and apparently not. But the paint job on this car was immaculate. I mean, gorgeous car. I couldn't find a thing wrong with it. The more I looked at it, the more impressed I was with it. It is numbers matching, unmolested. It's been repainted, of course. Numbers matching means it's the original motor, original transmission, original everything. There has not been an aftermarket or replacement motor, transmission, body parts. It's all original, numbers matching. It's a good color with the darker brown. And it has like 44,000 miles, I think, something like that, original miles. And the more I got to talking to him, I was like, man, this is a great little car. And he was expecting to get between 30 and 40 for it. And he got a, what, 34, I think. Like I said, the more I kept walking around the car, it's like, man, this is sweet. If you want just like, a nice little Sunday driver, boom, here you go, 35K. And it's not going to depreciate in value because it's a numbers matching car. It's all original, it's clean, it's going to hold its value. As long as you take care of it, it'll take care of you. So here's where we're discussing, hey, how much you're trying to get out of it and all that. But at these auctions, you can talk to the owners of these vehicles. And you can get to know them. You can get to know more about the car. Sometimes that's not available, but a lot of times it is. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, yeah, I already covered that one. Now I want to show you another auction, okay? This is 100% how you invest your money.
McQueen owned Gulf livery Porsche 917. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time to meet the main attraction. But before we start, I'd like to make two very important introductions. Right down in front of me, the legendary endurance racer and motorsport pioneer, three-time Daytona 24 Hours winner, two-time 12 Hours of Sebring champion, former owner of 917-022, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Redman. And also, upholding the legacy of the King of Cool, Steve McQueen's grandson, Chase McQueen. It's time to do it, ladies and gentlemen. S237, a 1969 Porsche 917K, chassis number 917022, one of the most recognizable race cars of all times. Purchased new in 1970, directly from the Porsche factory by Steve McQueen. Used extensively in filming of the iconic 1971 film Le Mans, the hero car driven by McQueen during race sequences in the film. Specially prepped and altered for him for film production in many ways. However, the entire car was repainted, new graphics were installed during the restoration to correctly match the blue and orange Gulf Oil number 20 livery seen in the movie Le Mans. Original matching numbers V12, 4-speed, single mesh manual transaxle, Bosch mechanical fuel injection, Jimmy, the 1969 Porsche 917.
And somebody get $50 million for it. Somebody get $50 million here, you better get 50. Somebody get $50 million here, you better get 20.
Speed it up for you.
$25 million. I have 24, 25, $25 million. I have 24, 25, that's $24 million. You better get $25 million. $24 million bid. $25 million. Anybody else? 24. $25 million. $26 million. I have 25, 26, and $25 million. You better get $26 million. I have 25 million. You better get 6. At $25 million bid, you better get 26. At 25, 26, and $25 million. You better get $26 million. I have 25 and now 26. I have 25 million. You better get $26 million. I have 25, 26, at 25 million. You better get $26 million. At 25 and now 26. 25, 26, 25, bid, you better get 26 million. At 26 million dollars. 25, 26, $25 million is the bid. $26 million. 25.
On the other side, that it is also signed on the other side of the car. Says, thanks for staying together, Steve McQueen.
$25 million is the bid. $26 million. I have 25 bid, you're gonna get 26. At 25 million, you're gonna get $26 million. I have 25, 26, $25 million bid, 26 million, 25, 26.
Sell the car!
$25 million is the bid. $26 million. Anybody else? Lobby. $25 million is the bid. Don't hate me. I'm gonna close the bid. The bid goes on.
I think they still
Step aside. Roll it.
Are you tripping going, what the hell just happened? It didn't meet reserve. All right. So on these auctions, some of these vehicles have what's called a reserve. That means that the owner or the seller or agent set a particular price mark. So for that vehicle, obviously somebody had to bid beyond $25 million. We don't know what the reserve, minimum reserve was, or the reserve, to be able to demarcate what it was. But obviously 25 million was not enough to purchase that particular vehicle. That vehicle was also, they didn't mention it, but it was also owned by Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld, I believe, was the one who was selling the vehicle. So these are, as you see, when you become uber wealthy and you have a lot of money to invest, there's certain things you start investing it in that will give you, that will hold value and give you a return on your investment, as long as you take care of that investment. You know, you can't take that car right there and go drive it on the streets. You can't go take it out on the racetrack and go race it. No, that's a piece of history in several different fronts. Belonged to Steve McQueen. It was in the movie Le Mans. It's special built. It's a rare Porsche. It's a race car. Yeah, there's a lot to that car. So you're going to buy it, put it up, store it, and let it make you money. That's what you're going to do. And every now and then, if you want to take it out and, just go see what it'll bring, put a ridiculous reserve on it. And you never know, you might make, 10, 20 million on a vehicle if it's the right vehicle. All right, what else? That was the Porsche. Now, let's step up our game. Let's go talk to those people who have pallets of that stuff that they're trying to give back to the owners so they can go live life happily ever after. Right? The most expensive cars ever sold.
From jaw-dropping designs to legendary engineering, the world of collectible cars has been hitting the gas on record-breaking prices. In 2022, a stunning 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, known as the Uhlenhaut Coupe, shattered records, selling for an astonishing $142 million. That's nearly $100 million more than the previous high. But what drives collectors to spend these mind-boggling sums? Is it passion, prestige, or pure obsession? Today, we're taking you on a thrilling ride through the 23 most expensive auction cars of all time. Buckle up as we explore how these dream machines are redefining the limits of value in the automobile world. Number 23, 1954, Ferrari 375 Plus Spider. Few automakers have a racing history quite like that of Ferrari. The prancing horse dominated nearly every field it entered in the early post-war era. One of its finest race cars from this period is the 375 Plus Spider. The long-nosed convertible was as powerful as it was beautiful, thanks to its V12 engine. It was also a huge success on the track, claiming victory at Le Mans, Silverstone, and the Carrera Panamericana road race. Despite this, Ferrari only built 4 examples of the vehicle, just 3 of which are still around today. This particular 375 Plus Spider, which was fully restored at Medina, was the first to roll off the line, which might explain why one collector spent $18.31 million for it back in 2014. Number 22, 1961, Ferrari 250 California SWB Spider. Ferrari is what is today because of the 250, its most successful early model line. It's hard to pick the best version from the 12 years it was in production, but near the top has to be the 250 California SWB Spider, one of the greatest convertibles of the last century. The Roadster was designed specifically for export to North America by Scaglietti. This particular example, which was once owned by French film star Alain Delon, was finished in dark blue, rather than the brand's trademark Rosso Corsa, over a black imitation leather interior, and is one of just 37 built with covered headlights. One especially intriguing aspect about this car was that it was almost in its original state when it sold for $18.4 million in 2015, having spent most of the previous 5 decades tucked away in a French barn. Number 21, 1939, Alfa Romeo 8C 2900B Touring Berlinetta. The Alfa Romeo 8C 2900 was the fastest car you could buy before World War II. There was more to it than its mechanical might, though. The vehicle, specifically the Carrozzeria Touring Berlinetta version, was also one of the most elegant cars of the era, leading some to dub it a rolling masterpiece. This is the second of 5 examples of the touring-bodied variant ever built, and with the others on display at the Alfa Romeo Museum or winning awards at vintage car shows, it's no wonder its new owner paid $18.5 million for it in 2019. Number 20. 2013 Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1W04. Lewis Hamilton may share the record for most Formula One drivers' championships with Michael Schumacher. But there is another area where he's pulled ahead of his historic rival. Most expensive race car. Earlier this year, the first vehicle the Brit drove to victory after joining Mercedes-AMG Petronas sold for a jaw-dropping $18.8 million in the run-up to the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. The racer was the only one of Hamilton's Mercedes F1 cars not owned by the German marque, team principal Toto Wolff, or the driver himself, and one lucky collector wasn't about to let the opportunity pass them by. Number 19, 1939, Alfa Romeo 8C 2900 Lungo Spider. Alfa Romeo's 8C 2900B. Touring Berlinetta may have been elegant, but another variant, the 2900 Luongo Spider, was just flat-out cool. The open-top version of the vehicle was Alfa Romeo's and Italy's answer to the Bugatti Atlantic, mixing style and performance like few cars before or after. Only 32 examples of the 8C 2900 Luongo Spider were ever built, and this is one of just 12 touring convertibles that exist to this day. In fact, the Spider, which sold for $19.8 million in 2016, is so rare that this gorgeous black example remains the only one to be offered at public auction this century. Number 18, 1994, McLaren F1. You'd be forgiven for thinking so, but not all the cars on this list are from a bygone era. Take, for example, the McLaren F1. Although it's nearly 27 years old at this point, the defining supercar of the 1990s still looks remarkably fresh and modern, which might be why so many brands and designers continue to borrow from its design. The Gordon Murray-designed coupe isn't just a looker, though. It also has a Formula One-derived V12 that briefly made it the world's fastest production car. Take all that into consideration, and it's little wonder that this one of two LM specification examples sold for just shy of $20 million in 2019. Number 17. 1995 McLaren F1. As you probably gathered from the last entry, McLaren's F1 might be the most treasured vehicle of the modern era. McLaren built just 106 examples during its 6 years in production, only 64 of which were street legal. This Creighton Brown example is a true beauty, but what really makes it stand out is the number on the odometer, 242 miles. That's right, this car has been driven less than 10 miles per year since it came off the line back in 1995. No wonder it sold for over $20 million, even more than the previous F1 on this list last year. Number 16. 1963. Aston Martin DP 215 competition. Few things appeal to collectors more than something that's one of a kind. That is why no one was surprised when this Aston Martin DP 215 competition sold for $20.4 million in 2018. The beautiful vehicle is a 1963 prototype, the last of 4 project cars the automaker made while David Brown was in charge of the marque, that would actually race at Le Mans months after its conception. It didn't win that year's race, but it was the first car to break the 300 km/h barrier at the race when it hit a top speed of 319.6 km/h on the famous Mulsanne Straight. Number 15. 1955 Jaguar D-Type. Ever wonder why enthusiasts are so obsessed with Jaguar's mid-century race cars? The D-Type, built from 1954 through 1957, is the answer. Few race cars have paired looks and performance quite so effectively. This particular 1955 example, which was raced by Scottish outfit Écurie Écosse, was the overall winner at Le Mans the year after it was built, earning the automaker its 4th of 5 victories at the race. The legendary blue and white racer is the only one of these Le Mans winning Jaguars still intact, which is why it sold for $21.7 million in 2016. Better yet, it's so well cared for that it looks basically identical to how it did when it earned its famous victory. Number 14. 1935 Duesenberg Model SSJ Convertible. Duesenberg may be long gone, but it's not been forgotten by enthusiasts. This gorgeous 1935 convertible is a big reason why. It was specifically built for one of the biggest stars of Hollywood's golden age, Gary Cooper, and paired a supercharged Model J engine with gorgeous coachwork by Legrande. Only 2 examples of the Roadster were ever built. The other went to Clark Gable, who, legend has it, would use it to race Cooper, which might explain why the car ended up more than doubling its pre-sale estimate when sold for $22 million at Pebble Beach in 2018. Number 13. 1955 Ferrari 410 Sport Spider. Ferrari built so many incredible race cars during the 1950s that it can be hard to pick a favorite, unless you were Carroll Shelby. The racer and automotive visionary considered the 1955 410 Sport Spider the best Ferrari he ever drove. He wasn't alone in his love for the V12-powered prancing horse, which was driven by some of the best drivers of the era, including Juan Manuel Fangio, Phil Hill, and Maston Gregory. The 400-horsepower beast wasn't just fun to drive though. Chassis non-zero 598 centimeters, which sold for $22 million earlier this year, was also a consummate winner, claiming the top spot in 11 races and making the podium in 19 more between 1956 and 1958. Number 12. 1956 Ferrari 290mm. Most 1950s Ferrari race cars experienced some sort of success, but few proved themselves on 3 continents. This 1956 290mm chassis number 0628, which was an official Scuderia Ferrari works car during the 1956 and 1957 seasons, did just that. Driven by some of the era's greatest drivers, including Juan Manuel Fangio, Phil Hill, and Sir Stirling Moss, it finished on the podium at the Mille Miglia in Italy, the 1,000 kilometers of Buenos Aires, and the Nassau Memorial Trophy Race in the Bahamas, just to name a trio of strong results. This particular example was the final of 4, built by the prancing horse, only 3 of which survive to this day, so it's hard to argue with its $22 million sale price. Number 11. 1956 Aston Martin DBR 1 Roadster. The DB5 may be the most famous Aston Martin, but the British marque's most important model was the DBR1 Roadster. That's why it's little surprise that the first of the 4 examples built is its most expensive car, having sold for $22.5 million in 2017. It didn't sell for that much because it was the first to roll off the production line though. The beautifully restored green Roadster was also the car that racing legend Sir Stirling Moss drove to his famous come-from-behind victory at the Nürburgring 1000 km in 1959. Number 10. 1964. Ferrari 275 GTBC. All Ferrari 275 GTBs are special, but few stand out quite like the Scuderia Ferrari team's Berlinetta Competizione cars, styled by Scaglietti. Only 3 were built for competition in the 1965 24 Hours of Le Mans. The color most closely associated with the prancing horse may be Rosso Corsa, but there's something particularly alluring about those finished in another hue. This particular 275 GTBC is finished in metallic dark gray, with a lighter shade acting as a center racing stripe. It didn't end up competing in the endurance race, which goes a long way to explaining why it was in such pristine condition when it sold for $26.4 million in 2014. Number 9. 1967. Ferrari 275 GTB4 Nart Spider. The 275 GTB is one of the most desirable Ferraris of all time. This can be an annoyance for collectors desperate to add one to their repertoire, because it pushes the car's prices even higher than the brand's other models from the era, especially if enthusiasts have their heart set on a rare spec example, such as the Nart Spider, of which there are only 10. That's what helped push bidding for this beautifully restored, matching numbers, example to $27.5 million. It's a very good thing that bidding reached such a high peak though, as the proceeds from the sale were donated to charity. Number 8. 1956. Ferrari 2 90mm. You're not seeing double, there are 2 different 1956 Ferrari 2 90mm's, both of which were built to compete in that year's Mille Miglia among the 10 most valuable auction cars of all time. As has been well established by now, the Prancing Horses 1950 racers were something special. This one has the distinction of having been designed specifically for Juan Manuel Fangio, a 5-time Formula 1 champion and one of the greatest drivers of all time. There's more to the open-top speed demon than the man who raced it though. It's also a stunningly beautiful car that features a distinctive blue and yellow nose. Combine all that and it's no wonder it sold for $28 million. Number 7. 1954. Mercedes-Benz W196. Few race cars have been more successful than the Mercedes-Benz W196. The successor to the W194 was famously driven by both Juan Manuel Fangio and Sir Stirling Moss during the 1954 and 1955 Formula 1 seasons, winning 9 of the 12 races it was entered in and 2 world championships. This particular example, which is finished in silver with white racing gumballs, was the first to claim victory at the 1954 French Grand Prix. It's also the only example not held in a factory or museum collection, which is why someone leaped at the chance to pay $29.6 million for it. Number 6. 1967. Ferrari 412 P Berlinetta. You won't find many Ferrari race cars rarer than the 412 P Berlinetta. The Italian marque only built 2 examples of the gorgeous vehicle, which is the customer version of the successful 330 P3 and P4 race cars. An additional 2 330 P3S were converted to 412 Ps. The gorgeous prototype racer combines a rear-mounted 4.0-liter V12 with the P3's chassis and the P4's body, suspension, and wheels. This example was the second of the original 412 P Berlinettas and helped Ferrari claim the World Championship of Makes in 1967. Somehow, the car's sale in August 2023 was something of a disappointment, falling $10 million short of what some thought it would go for. Still, that shouldn't take away from just how majestic this competition-proven Ferrari is. Number 5. 1957. Ferrari 335S. There are race cars that were built by Ferrari, and then there are those that actually raced for the Italian marca. Of those, the 1957 335S just might be the very finest. It's not the most valuable of the Marcus racers, having been sold by Art Curial for $35.7 million. It's close. But it is the one that enabled the Prancing Horse to win the Constructors' World Championship in 1957, while also finishing second at the final Mille Miglia. As tends to be the case with these vehicles, it was also piloted by some of Ferrari's finest drivers that season, including Peter Collins, Wolfgang von Trips, and Luigi Musso, during that most successful of seasons. Number 4. 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. It would be hard to pin down the most iconic Ferrari of all time, but if there's a single model that qualifies, it's the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. The Prancing Horse built just 36 examples of the street-legal race car, powered by a 3.0-liter V12, all of which somehow survive to this day. This particular example, chassis number 3851 GT, was owned by Fabrizio Violati for 49 years, and Violati actually entered it in races. There were high expectations for the car when Bonhams put it up for bid in 2014, but that didn't make it any less stunning when it sold for a then-record $38.1 million. Number 3. 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. It was fitting that Violati's Ferrari 250 GTO would be knocked off its throne by another 250 GTO. 4 years after the heavily raced Ferrari went for $38.12 million, RM Sotheby's sold another dazzling example for $48.4 million. Despite the sizable price difference, you're really splitting hairs trying to differentiate the two coupes. Still, the more expensive 250 GTO was the third to roll off the line and is overwhelmingly original, retaining over 95% of the parts it left the factory with. No wonder someone was willing to pay an extra $10 million for it. Number 2. 1962 Ferrari 330 LM 250 GTO. As the list up until now has made abundantly clear, there's no mark that captures the imagination of collectors like Ferrari. And at the top of the pyramid of prancing horses is parked the 250 GTO. This example of the V12-powered stunner may not have had the most illustrious of competitive careers, though it did win its class at the Nürburgring 1,000 kilometers in 1962, but it was one of just two raced by the marque's in-house team, Scuderia Ferrari. Add that to the fact that it has won its fair share of awards on the classic car show circuit in the decades since, and it's little surprise that the beautifully maintained Nauter 7 car sold for $51.7 million last month. Don't be surprised if its gavel price is beaten in the next 4 to 5 years though, especially with how things have gone over the last decade. Number 1. 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. Records are meant to be broken, and 4 years after the Ferrari, 250 GTO became the most expensive car for a second time when it went for $48.4 million. The 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe sold for $142 million. That's right, it broke the previous mark by $93.5 million, with the entire sum going to the newly established Mercedes-Benz Fund, a global scholarship program meant to aid young people working to make the world a more sustainable place. The silver prototype racer isn't just the most expensive auction car, it is the priciest vehicle period. While that sum is still shocking to look at, those familiar with the car, one of two designed to race in the 1955 Carrera Panamericana before it was called off, know the silver speed machine is more than deserving of its spot on this list. We also have a feeling that it might hold onto its title a bit longer than the previous record holder. And there you have it, the ultimate lineup of dream machines that have rewritten the history books.
There you go. And you remember me showing you the 300 SL replica, right? So if you want a $150 million replica, there you go. You go to the Mecum Auto Auction and pick you one up. And you could drive it every day and it would not devalue. And if you got rear-ended sitting in a red light, well, you know, you're not going to be out that much money. And you didn't lose a piece of history. It would make a lot more people than just yourself angry at yourself. So, what else did I have over here for you guys? I know I got some comments. I'll get over those. Oh, yeah. I can't forget this one. Last but not least, yeah. All right. I'm going to show you guys this, okay? I'm going to show it to you for a reason. We all remember the song back in the 80s. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Vanilla Ice, right? Well, Robbie Van Winkle, God bless him, whoever was his financial advisor caught that kid at a nice early young age, and he's set for the rest of his life. And I'm going to give you a little profile here. This is an 18-minute video. This is DJ Vlad TV.
Yo.
So the original 5.0, which is the car that everybody asks about first, is right there. That is the original Ice Ice Baby car. Come on in.
With the rack top down so your hair could blow?
Oh,
that
yeah.
One?
I would never put the top up on that. That is it, man. I've had this car since way back in the showroom. You know? You want to see something cool? Trunk is even 90s. Everything is 90s.
Yo, is that a 15 in the back?
Yes.
I used to sell car stereos, so I know this.
Falls Gate, I used to have, and people in Ice Ice Baby think that the word Vega is Vegas. It's
Yeah.
Sherwin Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah. Exactly.
The only, you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
So many people think, why is he talking about Vegas? Vegas, Sherwin Vegas.
Yeah.
Speaker, Du Bois coil, 650 Rockford Falls Gate. You ready for this? Bad motherfucker, man. Will that give you a boner or what?
That is not the stock engine.
No.
That is not the stock 5.0 engine at all.
Not at all. I got 1,100 horsepower in this thing.
Yo,
man.
can we take a look at the engine real quick?
Yeah.
What's the horsepower on this?
1,100 horsepower.
1,100 horsepower.
Yeah, I got a whole drag race, rear end and differential, transmission, everything.
Okay.
I don't think it's a real 5.0, but it's got some power.
Okay.
It's going to be called the 5.0 forever, no matter what.
Yo, is that a Model T Ford?
Okay, so this is not a Model T. It's an Oldsmobile, 1918.
Whoa,
it's 100 and something years old.
105 years old.
105-year-old. This is a Oldsmobile, so it's much longer wheelbase than a Model T. So these were the expensive version. Oldsmobile actually built the motors in the Model T. So they went on their own and built their own cars, and this was one of the original Oldsmobile. Still runs great, by the way, and it does 50.
Wait, you could ride this right now.
I drive this thing and goes 50 miles an hour. People don't
Okay.
think that in 1918 the cars went that fast. I got 3 gears in this thing, and I've had it over at 55 miles an hour on those tires.
Damn.
Now,
Okay.
It feels like it's gonna fall apart, but
Right.
it'll do it.
Those are so thin. Look at those things.
It'll do it.
Wait, are those wooden rims?
Yeah, those are wooden rims, man.
Yo, that's wild.
And you know what's really crazy? I think that's like a 28 size.
You're rolling on 28.
Rolling on 28s back in 18, bro. Look, I got 28s right here.
Those
And
are
right here.
28s. Yeah, 28.
This is a very famous car. Dale Earnhardt Sr., first race car called the Saturday Night Special. There's a million books. This has been on the cover of every magazine and stories all over the place about this car. He had a little cheat button right here that he took a paper clip that he hid right down in his race suit, and he'd pull it out and he'd stick in this little pinhole, and it would advance the timing, which was highly illegal. And they wrote a whole story on that. So there's stories about this car and interviews I do just about the car.
How much is this worth roughly?
$3 million.
$3 million.
This car's worth $3 million. This was Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy he punched Eddie Murphy right here in this car. Nick Nolte did. This is 48 hours car.
Yeah.
This was the blue Cadillac. And I got this from Hollywood Cars. I've had this longer than any of my collector cars. I did a movie with Nick Nolte called Ridiculous 6. And he told me the story about this and about him getting punched in the face. How he punched Eddie Murphy in the face, and Eddie Murphy's bodyguards came in from offset and dragged Nick Nolte out of the car by his neck, threw him on the ground and started punching him because he really hit Eddie, and it actually knocked him out. And Eddie comes over and goes, no, get off him, man. It's just an accident. So they had to wait like an extra week because, you know.
Heal up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, man. I've got a #1 car here. This is a Corvette 1954. And when I say #1, it means it's a matching number car, fully original, exactly like it came off the showroom floor in the original state. And it's been documented as a #1 car. So everything matches, all your serial number and engine. So that's exactly the way everything, and it runs perfect.
How much is that worth, you think?
This one right here is probably worth, I'd probably say, since it's a #1 car, it's not a celebrity car, probably 200, 250.
Okay.
That's still an expensive car, you know? Being a #1 makes it expensive, but this one I've got 150,000 bucks in it, man. Yeah, this is crazy. This is my newest. Look at these rims.
The Dayton's?
See the Vanilla DeVille? No, they're way beyond Dayton's. These are custom cuts.
Okay.
These are all hand etched. Everything is hand etched. So the entire underside is gold and hand etched.
The underside is gold.
Let me see if I can show you. Everything, every bumper. I got first place in the lowrider show.
Oh, this it's on hydraulics.
Fully hydraulic.
Oh, okay.
Swivel seat. Look at the seat. All the seats swivel.
Okay.
See that? All your switches are here. Now look at the back. Look underneath this thing.
The whole underside is gold.
Everything's
and
gold.
engraved.
Even my uppers in the front and the lowers. That has my daughter's initials in the differential.
Yeah.
I even did the disc brakes. The disc calipers even have hand etched. Somebody sat here and did this by hand, by the way, everything. And it doesn't stop. Once you get addicted to that stuff, it's called crazy cut. You just etch. But the lowrider thing is such a big culture. I grew up to that. And it's kind of funny how I got into it because it was the only way as a kid. And you might remember this since we're kind of the same age. Playboy magazine. We couldn't buy Hustler. But the closest thing we could buy was a lowrider magazine.
Right. With
and
the girls.
The chick on the front, you gave two shits about the cars.
Yeah.
You were like,
it's all about the girls.
Oh, and then they'd be sticking it out on you, boy. And that's the most porno we could get. So I got into it. And then finally, after a few years, I said, oh yeah, there's some cool cars on there.
Oh, okay. That's the hydraulic system?
That's the hydraulics. It's called a whammy tank.
Okay.
These are two motors, a pumps all underneath. You won't see them, but that's how it goes. It'll go all sideways and do the whole thing. All lights up, everything is really cool. All this, everything piping, there's fiber optics in all of this, even this, and it lights up everything.
So when
so detailed.
When Eazy-E said, I got front and back and side to side, he's talking about something like this.
Oh yeah, this is an old school. This I actually won first place at the lowrider show for the old school category.
Wow.
This is exactly what they talk about.
Does it bounce at all or no?
Oh, it'll bounce like crazy, man. Woo! I can set this thing up. I can pick that. I can pick the whole car up like this. Oh, it's powerful. Super powerful. Super powerful. Pull the whammy tank. It's got like 72 volts. Crazy. You could weld with it. If you touched it, you'd die. Like literally, that's how many voltage go to this. Crazy voltage. That's the scariest, most fire hazard thing about these cars is that there's 72 volts going through that thing. It's a lot.
You driving around Miami?
No, this is a show car. All these
just a show car.
None of these drive.
Okay.
I don't drive any of them.
Except for the 1918 joint.
I do. On a nice day around polo season.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies, we do it's called the brass. We'd take them to a brass show, and we'd go out to all the old cars that are basically 1920 and older. Nothing else newer. So you know how this works. When I pull out my display, I got all these things here that go for the lowrider, you know? And this is 1922. This is a pedal car, 1922. And I had it fixed up and painted, and I built this. I got a jam box under the seat. My daughter sits here.
You got the ice baby bottle in the front. With the ice inside. I see what you're doing
Hey,
here.
I'm from the 90s. Cheesy is easy.
Cheesy is easy.
All right, so here we are up in my trophy room from motocross. I raced back in the 80s and 90s and still race today, but I collected all those trophies from way back in the 80s. And still got them here collecting dust for me. And this was not the bike I raced, but a replica of the bike I raced. I wish I had the original, but this was a replica of the bike. This was a 1985 CR125, a bad monster back in the day. And then I just keep it up here and let it marinate. And you see I got some old pictures here and some different things of all the races and trophies and championships and different things. But you know, when you work so hard for this stuff, you don't want to ever throw it away. So I collect it, I keep it, and I keep it safe up here. It's neat to come back here and look at this every now and then. I can remember every race, all the laps, and where this was. All I got to do is just look at, you know, one of these plates on there. Look, 1983. I can tell you I was at Swan MX Raceway right there. I can tell you that Billy Whitley was in that race with me. I got third place and came back the next moto and won. So I got the overall because he got second and second.
What is this right here?
This is Dean Martin's old car.
Wait, this is Dean Martin's actual car.
Yes.
Wow.
And this car is a #1 car too. That means it's all matching number and fully OG, like it was when it came off the showroom.
Okay.
So it'd be the same wheels, same tires, same everything, like you would see. And this car is really rare because if you see these vents here, they only made 400. This was the most expensive car in the world in 1956. And they only made 400 of these, and only 100 of them came with air conditioner, this is one of 100. And it has rooftop air conditioner, which was genius because it blows perfect still to this day, right down on your head. It's like, man, and I guess it goes through here somehow, and it's got to come through here, you know, but there's 4 motors, and considered one of the most luxury cars historically of all time is this one. And it's not called a Lincoln. So this is a Continental. And the company, they tried to make it Continental for 2 years as its own new company. Lincoln was a company, Continental is a company.
Okay.
Etzel, and it didn't work for them. So they failed because the car was too expensive. This car was $14,000 in 1956. That car in 1954 was $4,000. It's years older. So this was the most expensive car in the world.
So this was like the Rolls Royce of its era.
100% more expensive than a Rolls Royce in 56. The most expensive, #1. You can Google it today. What's the most expensive car in 1956? This will pop right up.
Okay. How much is this worth about?
This car's probably worth about $3 million. I haven't had it appraised.
$3 million.
Yeah, I've had those appraised. Those are up there. This one's probably could even be more because I don't know if that many people, it might not be, it could go down because people might not really remember Dean Martin. The kids today, it's really weird, you know? Like when people, they don't remember it, it's the value could go down. So I'm hoping people remember Dean Martin and the Rat Pack. Marilyn Monroe rode over here. I've got 400 pages of
Marilyn Monroe rode
documents
in this car.
He loaned it to Elvis Presley while he was on his Vegas thing in Vegas.
We're in a museum
Sammy
right
Davis Jr., all the Rat Pack, everybody's been in this car. I've got video, picture, everything of this.
So we're in a museum right now, basically.
We're in a museum. I have others. I have more. I have 31 cars.
31 cars.
31.
How much is your whole car collection worth if you were to add it up?
Just never did. If I put a value on it,
roughly.
50 million?
$50 million car collection.
Probably.
Okay, you win.
Maybe more.
You win.
I like cars, man. But you know, it's not just about having a bunch of cars. It's about having special cars.
Yeah.
Celebrity cars are fun.
Yeah.
They carry way more value when they have a story behind them. If you look at Mecum and the auctions in Barrett Jackson, you'll see that the story cars could be a piece of shit. But if you had the original, because like the original Bandit car is a turd. 1978 Cadillac Pontiac was a turd. But the car's worth a crap load of money. It's the Bandit car. That car was a pile of crap, man. You peel up the floorboard and you had a hole this big. Watch the road go by. It was so rusted out when I got it, but it has the serial number from the movie. I got the paperwork that says this serial number belonged to this movie, and it's documented. That makes the car value through the roof.
Okay. Incredible collection, man.
People want the stories of cars, you know, and now they're my cars, and they'll never be sold. Not even after I'm dead. My kids can't sell them. It's in my will. They say
in your will. They have to keep them.
They have to. Generational. It has to be. You can't. Then they have to take care of them too. It's in there too. The details of how to take care of them are even in there. Because the value goes up. Listen, every one of these right here is better investment than I've got in any stock market or any house or anything. These are great investments, these cars.
Right.
If you're going to set money, why set it in a stock market? Get you something like a celebrity-owned car, an Elvis car or something, and air condition it, keep it safe, and watch what happens in 20, 25 years.
Yeah,
Put that same amount of money in a stock or in a CD or a trust or any kind of account, watch what it does. It won't excel like this.
Right, it's like artwork, basically.
Same reason I buy my houses. My houses, some of them I've never even seen. And this is a true story.
You haven't seen some of the houses you own?
Never. And I buy them because I buy tax auctions. I buy tax liens. So I don't buy normal MLS or anything that you're gonna see on Zillow. There's nothing on the computer that I'm gonna be buying. I buy them below the appraised value, way below. And everybody would if they could, but they can't because they don't know my tactic. My tactic is to hire an attorney. And my attorney goes to the courthouse and he finds out for that day what tax liens in the whole county or anywhere I want to buy a home is, and he'll give them to me. And he says, you owe me my $5,000 retainer, whether you buy a house or not. I don't care what you do with this information. I woke up and got my coffee and went here and got it for you, and now you do it. And I go on there and I go, oh my God, look at these houses. I don't need to see them. I don't need to drive by them. Don't need to even care. And I own so many houses that I've never seen because all I need to see is what is the appraised value of that house? And what am I buying it for? Holy shit, I'm buying it for half of the appraised value. I just made money. You do real estate, you understand that. It's when you buy a house that's worth $1 million and you pay $500,000 for it. That's what I do. I make money on my houses before I even fix them up, when I buy them.
And do you rent all these houses out?
Never rented a house.
Never rented a house.
They sit
so
there,
all these houses are
collect
empty.
cobwebs. Some of them are falling apart. Some of them have grass 10 feet high. Some of them are just vacant land. Some of them have houses that swimming pool and cockroaches are coming out, and they've been there for 25 years. And I won't touch them, and they are worth a shitload of money compared to what I paid for them 25 years ago. That's the thing with real estate. You get in, and then you get out. Whenever you get in, you're going to get out better than what you did. Even in 08, I do seminars about 08 and the housing crunch.
During the housing
which scared
crash,
people. It didn't scare me. It fueled
well,
me.
you had money back then.
But I also made more money during that.
Exactly. If you
Because of
when
that.
you have money during recessions, you always make out. Whether it's property, stocks, art,
Unless you're a
jewelry,
dummy.
whatever.
Unless you're dummy and blow it, yeah.
Exactly.
So, but the truth is I profited on it. And I hate to tell people that, but 08 made a profit because I turned around. And instead of buying short sales and foreclosures, I learned how to buy tax liens because a lot of tax properties, if they're not paying their mortgage, they're not paying their tax. So what happens with the IRS is they eliminate anything, HOA liens, a lien on a house, a mortgage, a second lien, all goes away to the trash. Nobody gets paid. Those people have their own insurance set up, right? IRS takes over. They don't want to sell homes. They want to give them away for only the value of what the back taxes are owed. So when you want to talk about what you buy pennies, houses for pennies on the dollar, that's how you do it.
Tax liens.
Tax liens. And you have 18 months to reinvest it and not spend any of the capital gains from the profit that you made on the house that you sold. So you have to reinvest it. So you compound it.
Yes.
And then instead of paying Uncle Sam that money, you just use that money to buy a bigger
new
house.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you went from $1 million to a $10 million house in a few years. Real estate.
What I tell y'all about his financial advisor or whoever, that kid was a motocross racer and hit it big and has made very wise investment decisions ever since. Now, a few of the cars he has in his stable, obviously the purple Cadillac with all the gold plating and engraving, he valued that car at $150,000. If I owned that car, I would never get $150,000 out of it. Even though I'd have receipts that, hey, this is how much all the work that went into making this car look like it is. 150 grand. Here's the receipts. Nobody would ever pay me that for it. I'd be lucky to get 100 grand out of it. But since that car belonged to Vanilla Ice, now it has cachet. Now the car would probably, eventually that car probably hit $1 million just because it belonged to him and all the intricate detail that went into that car. But you listen to him and listen to him very carefully. You might want to go re-listen to him again. But he's giving you all sound advice of how you buy cars. He said, every car in here, I don't drive these cars. These are collectors. They just sit here. Same thing about his real estate. I buy them. I don't even know what they look like. I don't even care what they look like. I don't even care what they look like today. I don't care if there's not even a house there. I don't care if the termites ate it up. I don't care if there's crackheads living in it. It's an investment. It's to make money. And that's part of what the Life After Exchange series is about. Hanging on to your money. Making your money work, not you work for money. Because the last thing you want to do is have, spent the majority of your life working for money, and then finally you get money, and instead of making it work for you, you blow it all. Now you got to go back and work for money again. So that's why I'm doing these series to kind of educate most of you, the ones that I can get through to, who are paying attention and listening, and investing your time and money and energy in something that you will use in the future. Okay. I don't want to bring you a whole bunch of bullshit and garbage. I want to try to educate you in the quickest amount of time possible. I want to show you what's available, what's out there, what it looks like, how to do it. So if you go watch my video that I did live at the Mecum auto auction, man, I didn't know the audio was dead on that. And I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do a video. I'm going to go to a car lot. Okay. I've got some friends who own some nice car lots here in town. And I'm going to do some profiles. And I'm going to show you what to look for on vehicles. Okay. I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to show you how to do your own multi-point inspection, because I don't know how many points there is, and what to look for prior damage, flood damage, repaint, accidents, just on fit and finish, the whole 9 yards. So I look forward to doing that. So auto auctions, there's different strokes for different folks. Like I said, you can go like e-repairables. There's one site, I get emails from them where you can go buy these damaged, wrecked, flooded vehicles and put some money into them and flip them if that's your cup of tea. Or you can go to just a regular auction house and just pick you up, a bunch of trade-ins and sell those. You can pick up a fleet of cars at auctions and get you a Turo fleet. You rent cars. There's multiple things that you can do, or you can go try to find these, one-ofs vehicles that are just strictly investment vehicles. You're taking a big chunk of your money instead of having to invest it in real estate, invest it in art, invest it in crypto, invest it in precious metals. You're investing it in a commodity that more or less always holds its value. When we're talking about vehicles, like the Superbirds, okay? The Superbirds and Dodge Daytonas, they've always been, a 200,000 plus car, and they're slowly, increasing. And the more rarer the car, which would be the color, the interior, engine, cubic inch, the transmission, sometimes the rear end, depending on the vehicle, and all the other additional add-ons that you could get, like air conditioning, factory air, or sometimes you could get cutouts, special packages like the Yinko package or the Copo package for the Camaros. So these are things that you're going to have to learn. Some of you, you already know about, like Camaros. You know all about Camaros, or I see over here in the comments, Gigi or Mary Jones wants a 55 T-Bird. That's what she has on her mind. She wants the one that doesn't have the fins in it. 55 T-Birds are cool. Do you want to get one as an investment or do you want to get one for a daily driver? See, that's what you're looking for. So if you're looking for one for a daily driver, but you still want, the iconic 1955 convertible hardtop with the porthole windows and the hardtop, maybe you want a Continental kit on the back, and then you want the rear uh, fender skirts. It's just, what you're looking for. So if you want to get one updated, maybe with a new Coyote motor as opposed to the old 289, or what was the other one that they had? The 263, I think, or something. But yeah, you can put your nice Coyote in it and get you a little horsepower and a little gumption. So there's different things that you can do. So I hope, giving you enough on the auctions. Let me get over here to the comments. How you doing, David Rodriguez? Tim Brown, yes, that was a 1957 electric vehicle. Absolutely, with the battery pack. They said it ran too. DJ Fools, okay. I'd rather help single moms at the strip club. I don't blame you. I used to help a bunch of single moms at the strip club, and I actually married one. Yeah, I know. I got a divorce. How you doing, Gigi? Welcome to the show. I think Mecum's still here in Houston. I'm not sure for how long. Oh, they were only here for 3 days. They were here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they're out of there. They were at the NRG Center. Again, I plan to buy, Floyd. Well, good. I didn't know you were here in Houston, Gigi. The Packard Touring, yeah, there were Bugatti. I don't know. Some of the old ones I really didn't look at. When I was taking pictures of all the ones from last year, I really didn't get into the cars because there are just so many. And, this year I just did a walkthrough. And for certain ones, I stopped and took pictures. The Penelope pit stop car was, I think, at last year's. Yeah. And then the 65 Caddy, boat tail. Yep. And Jenny says, wow. 47 Bentley Frenet black with either red or pink interiors. Okay. There's several companies, and I'm going to get into those as well. They're aftermarket companies, and I'll use Brabus for an example. And I didn't play the video. There's another one of Vanilla Ice where he shows off his $1 million Rolls Royce and his $750,000 Brabus boat. Yeah. So, yeah, he likes to spend money. He likes to go fast. He likes nice things. I used him as an example because when I stumbled across him, I was like, oh, wow, most people would think this guy would be just, a goofball. Really wouldn't be successful. Obviously, he's very highly successful. I mean, when you go like, how much your car's worth? Oh, I don't know, 50 million. You're worth a lot of fucking money. Yeah, there were some nice rides there. Hey, Jenny, Gigi had to go walk her dogs. Mine's outside. How long should we hold the car before selling at auction? Now, that depends on the vehicle. Okay. And depends on what you're trying to buy. Let's just say Gran Torino. Okay. Clint Eastwood. The movie that he was in, Gran Torino, if you bought that car today, you could probably get it for nothing. Okay. It was just in a Clint Eastwood movie. No big deal. Now, you hold on, sit on that car. Clint Eastwood's 90, what, 3, 94? He doubt he'll live another decade. He may possibly, but if you picked up that car today and let's say you paid 20,000 for it, which is probably a fair market value for a 73 or 74 Torino, Gran Torino, actually. Um, if Clint Eastwood passed away, it would add more value to the car, especially if you had documentation, to go with the car to show that, yes, this is the movie car that was used in the movie Gran Torino, driven by Clint Eastwood, and you had certificates of authenticity, whatever. Then, hey, guess what? Now's the time to sell the car. You don't want to sell it 10 years after Clint Eastwood's died. The value will have depreciated a little bit while, the getting is good because it's fresh on everybody's minds. That's when Vanilla Ice was talking about, Dean Martin. Now as we age, how these youngsters are, they don't care about history. They don't care about the past. It's all about gimme, 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 instant gratification. Now, 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 now. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And if you won't, I'm going to make myself appear to where you want to look at me because you're going to be either horrified or attracted, one or the other. But that's the time to sell. It just depends on the market. Vehicles are not as volatile as the stock market or other investments. It does work in waves, but there are specific vehicles, like the old 50s Ferraris. You get you one of those and boom, you're sitting on a gold brick, basically. You cannot go wrong with that unless you buy wrong. You bought way too high or you paid more than what the car would cost to restore. Okay. And there's companies, Bravis is one of them. Bravis is mainly a Mercedes aftermarket company, but they also restore Mercedes. Every Mercedes all the way back. So if you have a specific Mercedes, like a 300 SL Gullwing that you want to restore, you would send it to Bravis and they would restore it back to factory specifications. You would get it. It would look like it would roll off the showroom floor if that's how you wanted it. However, if you wanted it to have 1,200 horsepower, they can do that too. If you want pink ostrich interior and you want pink metal flake, they can do that. You want fiber optics, they can do that. Bravis will do whatever you want to your vehicle. Whatever you want. It's insane. I'll profile them in one of these videos to show you guys. But they take Mercedes-Benz brand new, straight from the factory, and then they go in and they upgrade them and put all their stuff on them. New suspension, increase the horsepower, upgrade the interiors, exteriors, and packages. Your neighbor across the street got one of those Corvettes, white, no new paint. And Amazing A says, yeah, right. And I have no idea what you're addressing that to. He got front, back, and side to side. Yeah. I've seen some of the homes he purchased. He is one hell of a businessman. There you go. He's buying at the tax sales. And let me explain. Should I explain tax sales on an auto auctions video, or should I just do a separate video when I get into all the minutiae about the real estate? Whether you should get an apartment, a condo, a townhouse, a house, a high rise, a mansion, a farm, a ranch, But I'll get into all that. I'll break all that down for you, how tax sales work, how auctions work, how the foreclosure auctions work. First Tuesday of every month, Bayou City Event Center. They don't auction them off at the courthouse steps anymore. Still here? Got back with your dogs? Ooh, good. Ice Baby. Yeah, he's still going strong, man. He is kicking it. He's impressive. I was impressed when I caught his first interview. I was like, wow. And I've watched several since. Want one for a daily driver and for investment. And there you go. You know, you can get one that you can go beat up every day and, you know, go park it at your local grocery store and it's going to get door dinged and beat up and, you know, rock chips and chips in the windshield. And while you've got another one over there sitting that's number matching. And like you said, it's a number one car. Okay. It's all original. Still has the original tires straight from the factory. They've never been replaced. That car's going to appreciate it. So every time you get in your daily driver, you can appreciate that you have one at home that's making you money if the one that you drive is not making you money. Probably depreciating your money. They advertised it on TV. I started to go, but I forgot all about it. Usually I go to the boat show, RV show, the car show, but didn't go this year. Well, I didn't see you at the RV show. I went to the RV show. You should hit me up, Gigi, for next whatever is coming. West Coast Customs. Yep. Truth Seeker, welcome to the show. When is the exchange supposed to happen? Well, it depends on who you ask. Well, if we're talking about Bruce, man, it's happened every day for the past 5 years. Where you been? Wolverine? Yeah, every couple of days. It's happened. I don't know where you were. I don't know what line you were in. Did you miss the boat? Uh, I don't know. I know we're close. I know Trump administration, Vietnam. They're talking about revaluing the dong. Obviously, we can publicly follow Iraq, and we have plenty of people doing that for us. And somebody sent me an email today, and they were, asking me again about the Bolivar. The Bolivar is a super, super wild card. The reason being is because of the presidency in Venezuela. Maduro's in there. He's been strong arming. He's Hugo Chavez's protege. For those of you who don't know, and of course, Hugo Chavez, there was a little alleged drug activity and, all that going through there. But anyway, Maduro took over. And this past election, they just had the actual woman that wanted to run. They wouldn't let her run against Maduro. So they put in this other guy named Gonzalez, a former politician. According to the citizenry and Gonzalez himself, Gonzalez won. But according to the Maduro administration, Maduro won. So Maduro's still in there strong arming, of course, threatening the United States with an invasion of Puerto Rico. I don't think that'll turn out too well for you, bro. But until they figure that out, what's going on with their presidency, who's who, what's on first, and all that crap, then will we be able to get some sound financial decisions for Venezuela? And, I just don't see them being accepted as a relevant currency on the international market currently with the turmoil in their administration. That's just how I look at it. The international community is looking at them like, what are y'all doing over there? So, yeah. Elvis's cars always hold their value, their prestige. Anything Elvis. Floyd, have you heard of the Golden Sahara? I wouldn't mind having a replica of one of those. Never heard of a Golden Sahara. Have you seen the bravest big boy? I have. And the bravest G wagon. Yeah, I've seen all the bravest stuff. I'm a fan of bravest. I'll have something bravest in my stable, absolutely, and it'll be all custom made, one off. The vehicle will go straight from the factory to Bravus and then be shipped to me. And I'll go over all that, how, that transpires, because, there's no need for you to go down to your local whatever dealership and order a car. You want to go straight to the factory. When I ordered a Bentley, Bentayga, and when I ordered it through the website, I picked out everything that I wanted on it. I swear, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but truth, so help me God. Somebody from Bentley in Crewe, England called me. I'm not kidding. They called me from England. How you doing? We see you put in an order for one of our cars. I'm like, yeah, I did. Wow, you're actually calling me from the plant. Yes, we are. So I thought that was very unique. I mean, where else would that happen? You're not gonna go to Landmark Chevrolet and look at a Corvette and order one, and then somebody from Pontiac, Michigan is going to call you up and go, "Hey, you ordered a Corvette." So I thought that was pretty cool. So it looks like you get some white glove firsthand service with Bentley. But yeah, if y'all, the bravest big boy is a RV for those who know, and go check out the bravest boats. Robbie has one of those, Robbie Van Winkle. All right, y'all have any more questions about auto auctions, the vehicles of that sort? And believe me, cars, trucks, SUVs, RVs, boats, they do motorcycles, just about everything. Some of these auctions. I was really surprised. I think they had 2 boats at this latest Mecum, and I was really surprised about that. And they had a big trailer, and then they had that big RV. But for the most part, it's just cars, trucks, SUVs. So I think that's about it that I want to offer. Oh, I almost forgot the specialty book, um, PDF, the ebook. That's a wrap, folks. It is in production. I had to send a book to my printer, and he should get it Monday or Tuesday, and then he's going to give me a quote, and I'm waiting on a couple other quotes. But the printed book, I hope to have it by May 15th, but the ebook is available today. For those of you who have pre-ordered it and are waiting either the ebook and or the softcover book, ebook will go out tomorrow. The book will go out as soon as I get them. If you want to do a combo package, hit me up. Let me know. Have I heard of a darts trombone or Carlman King? Nope. Never heard of either of those. Are those cars, trucks, boats, RVs? I have no idea. Nope. Nothing. I cannot comment. I know nothing. So yeah. But the book's ready. I went through everything today, totally edited it, and finished the foreword, structured everything, went through the spelling, did not do grammar because that take me forever. Total book about 660 pages, 638 pages of text, and it is ready to go. And I am kind of proud of myself. It'll be my second book that I will have self-published, and it'll be my first book that I'm actually a acknowledged author. So I am a co-author with Anne. Trucks and SUVs, exotic SUVs and trucks. No, I haven't seen those, but I'll go check them out for sure. There's a another vehicle that I definitely have not said anything about. I'm like, because there's only a limited amount of them, and it's a vehicle that if you're a prepper or survivalist, this is the vehicle you want. And don't think that I just, I'm pulling all this shit out of my ass as I talk during the show. I've already researched all this. A lot of this I researched when I was in prison because I plan to use the redemption process to get myself out of prison and, out of custody. And then I was going to go live in a country that didn't have extradition with the United States. And we were going to go live off the grid. So we're just 100% anonymous to the world. So everything that it takes to go do that, I investigated. I went and looked at countries that didn't have extradition treaties. Okay, so which ones of those had the right climate? Because I didn't want to go to one that's too cold, too hot, too humid, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that you need to take in mind and research prior to you making a decision to go do something. That was one of them for me. But I'm going to dive in. I'm going to do a whole bunch more series on this. Hopefully I won't take up 2 hours doing one regarding the next topic that I do on life after exchange. Because I want to dive into everything: farms, ranches, condos, houses, just buying raw real estate, all of that individual. How to invest if you're going to do foreclosure, if you're going to do tax sales, if you're going to go knocking on doors, all little tricks and secrets. I have I'll call him an acquaintance, but he's a friend of a friend of a friend. I've met him, but we're not buddy. He owns like 200, 250 houses or 250 let me put it 200 to 250 pieces of property. Some have commercial or residential structures on them all over Texas. So when it comes to real estate, I know what I'm talking about. I actually take the test for the Texas real estate exam, continued learning education classes for some real estate agents because they don't want to take them, so I'll take them for them. And I don't even have a real estate license. I know I shouldn't say that out loud, right? Come get a knock on my door. Who are you taking tests for? Who are you? Take yours? I'm good. I'm real good. I didn't know you're a real estate agent. You should give me a call. Peachy and I were supposed to get together this weekend. I have to work tomorrow. I'll be at the George R. Brown. George R. Brown, yeah. George R. Brown from scheduled 2 to 8. I'll probably be there 2 to 5, maybe 6. And then I was supposed to go straight to Austin, work Sunday and Monday, but my car is acting up again and I got to put it in the shop Monday. So that killed my whole week of going to Austin to work. So I won't be doing that. However, I will be here making videos for you guys about life after exchange. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below if you want to reach me, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com. FearlessFloydShow.com is my website. Come get you one of these dang books, okay? I've got a bunch of these. I'm trying to move to Puerto Rico, and these weigh 3 pounds each, and I got a whole bunch of them. I got a whole bunch more coming, so y'all come pick these things up because I don't want to take them to Puerto Rico with me. I don't want to have to pack them. I have a lot of books. And if the last minute and I have to do a blowout to get rid of them, then so be it. But until that time, yeah, they're for sale on the website. I don't know if I'll do a Mother's Day sale. I was thinking about that, but we'll see what happens. Might do a Memorial Day sale. I don't know. I usually don't do sales until Thanksgiving and Christmas. I did one this past year. I did Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So we'll see. I probably should do one. Might do one for Trump's birthday. Who the hell knows? I might just do one for every holiday. How about every Muslim holiday or every 3-day weekend? Just like, I would do it like when the RV is supposed to happen. But I'd be having specials every day, according to Bruce and Wolverine. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but stay tuned and let's do a little 6-minute promo about Ann's new book. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If I don't see you tomorrow or later with another video, another live video, I'm going to try to do these live as much as possible because I want you to start asking questions because inquisitive minds make me think outside the box, give you better answers. I want y'all guys paying attention. This is probably the last opportunity you have to live life happily ever after. Don't throw it away being stupid because you didn't want to pay attention or you thought your way was the right way. Well, even I know that I'm not the smartest box of rocks in the room. That there's smarter rocks than me. And sometimes I need to reach out and ask those rocks for a little help. And I don't mind doing that. So, good night, everybody. Thank you for hanging around to watch this special promo on the new book by Ann LaFleur and Fearless Floyd, Specialty Trusts. We'll dive right in. There's the cover to the On Trust books. That's the first book that Ann wrote. This is the 3rd edition on revocable, irrevocable, foreign, charitable, remainder, express, college education, and land trusts. It has instructions, templates, examples, everything you need in this trust or in this book to run these 7 different trusts. Everything you need. Here's the table of contents. And please disregard the error bookmark, not defined, notices on the right hand of the screen. There is a lot of redundancy in this book simply because the simplicity of how it was adopted from the classes. So you're going to see, a trustee appointment letter in every one of the trusts when you just really need one and just change the information. Here we go. This is a specialty trust cover. And here are all the trusts that are available in this book. How to create and operate specialty trust, full instructions, templates, and examples to create and operate. A Q-tip, a qualified terminal interest property trust, qualified personal residence trust, irrevocable life insurance trust, third-party special needs trust, community property trust, asset protection trust, discretionary trust, ministry trust, decedent trust, charitable trust, Special Needs Trust, Perpetual Family Trust, Testamentary Discretionary Trust, Grantor Retained Annuity Trust, Irrevocable Farm Trust, Pets Trust, AB Trust, and Marital Trust, as well as the bonus DNA Trust Addendum. Here is the table of contents, and again, please disregard the error bookmark at not defined. And here we go with the DNA Trust. Wanted to show you guys a little bit of this. That's the first 3 pages right there. This is the bonus. You can add this to any one of the trusts. It doesn't matter whether it's a revocable, irrevocable, foreign express, pets trust, same thing. If you'd like to get one of the books or a combination or a package, the ebooks are available for $249 each, and that's either the On Trust or Specialty Trust books. If you'd like a soft cover, they are $259. I do have package deals available at thefearlessfloydshow.com/store on my website. If you'd like to do an a la carte package deal that I don't have available and you want to put something together, hit me up, thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. I mainly hang out over on Telegram, so come hit me up over there. These 2 books are probably the only books you will ever need if you ever want to operate in trust, and everybody should at least research it and see if it's right for you and your family. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. And I'll see you at the next show.